Bonjour, mon petit Jeffrey, Amber here, and welcome to part 2 of the grand finale of my Amber Has Big Hair, and Amber was disgustingly obsessed with the Jonas Brothers when she was younger miniseries, where I sit and read Jonas Brothers fan fiction that I wrote 8 years ago that I found on Nicola, which was pre-Wattpad. So yeah, we are in the midst of the last one that I have on this website, on my page. It's called Guitar Strings and Promise Rings, and if you have not watched the first half, definitely go do so now. Pause this, go watch that, and then come back to this one so you actually know where we are in the story. Also, after you're done this, go follow me on Wattpad, actually, because it's current MIBA. Without any further ado, let's just jump right into this because I already found it. Why Do You Hate Me is the name of the next chapter. I rolled over into another memory. So, these flashbacks are dreams. Okay. Or these she's having thought. So that was when she met Joe. So I think I know what this, as I'm reading it, I'm remembering it. It was raining. We were all hanging out. Demi and I were originally going shopping because Demi and I are apparently very inseparable. Cause you know we're inseparable. But somehow the brothers ended up coming along. Somehow. We were all walking down the street on our way to lunch. That was a very bad idea. First of all, it suddenly started raining. Then out of nowhere we heard screaming. We turned expecting to see a small group of girls, but what we saw was 3 different groups of girls, about 7 each, and they were all running at us. Usually we would greet them, but these fans were scary. Run! Kevin yelled. All I know is that I was glad I was wearing my Converse sneakers. Actually, in reality, that's probably a bad idea to run on the pavement, the wet pavement and Chucks, but okay. The screaming was getting louder or maybe just mine because mine were worn down. The screaming was getting longer as the group got closer. We should split up, Demi panicked. They can't chase us all. We ran a few paces before I felt a hand grab me and pull me sideways down a side street. Joe was dragging me down the street. Daily jogs might have been good for him, but literally being dragged through puddles wasn't exactly my cup of tea. Retweet. I wanted to tell him to slow down, but the feeling of his hand in mine forced me to keep up so that I could keep hold of his hand. I turned my head and saw that a few of the girls were following us. Suddenly, Joe made 2 sharp turns and pulled me under the awning of a clothes shop. Gosh, I said out of breath. That was adorable. Sorry, Joe said. Shh, he whispered as we heard the sound of running feet. I could see them a little. They stopped and looked around and then ran down the street in the other direction. I let out a sigh of relief. I hope this doesn't cause me to get sick, I thought out loud. Amber. Oh, come on, that was a little exciting. You weren't the one being dragged around, I smiled. I was facing the other way, still catching my breath. That's when I noticed that Joe was still holding my hand. Cute. I figured that he hadn't realized, but I wasn't going to move my hand away. This felt right. I hadn't noticed how close we were standing in that close space. I hadn't realized how close we were standing in the close space. I didn't know it was raining in the rain. I was turning to say something to him, and I guess he was doing the same because somehow his lips grazed mine. I'm tall, for the record, so that could easily happen. I guess. It depends on details. Not important. Causing a series of tingles to erupt all over. There was no way I could hide my blushing, but I was surprised when I looked into his face and saw that he was blushing too. I looked into his chocolate eyes. Oh, his eyes smell like chocolate. That was awful, I'm sorry. And was entranced. Sorry, he said, lowering his head. What are you apologizing for? Alright, Amber, be bold. Real life Amber is not that bold. Even now, 8 years later. What are you apologizing for? I asked, looking down at our hands and squeezing his so that he wouldn't let go. I don't know. Maybe it's because, maybe. He ran his hand through his hair. What? I looked back into his eyes. Gosh, are they beautiful. I started to speak again, but I was cut off by his lips against mine. When he pulled back, he looked at me nervously and started messing with his ring. Oh, the purity ring. Cute. I started lying. I smiled before leaning in and kissing him again. This one was different. The first one had been sweet, gentle, and cautious. This was a lot deeper and more passionate. My hand slipped up his arm, and my fingers were quickly tangled in his rain-soaked hair. Yeah, we know, Amber. We get it. That's your thing. I became aware of his hand pressed firmly against the small of my back. The other was cupping my cheek. Suddenly, Joe. I really just kept reading Joe and Let at the same time and just kept calling him Jet. It's fine. Joe let out an aggravated breath before ending this perfect moment. What is it? I asked, a bit out of breath. My phone. He looked at the caller ID before picking up. I would listen to the conversation as I watched the sun come back out and the rain stop. So cliche. Hey, Nick. I'm not sure. Where are you guys? Okay. Alright. We'll be there soon. Why is the space in like that? Okay. Okay, bye. He grabbed my hand and led me back in the direction that we had come. You know, I always thought you liked Nick. What he said. Oh, God. I feel like, honestly, if this were real life, that would probably be an accurate statement. Really? Why? I don't know. You two just sort of meshed from the beginning. You both always talk on the phone, always are together when we hang out. You have jokes that no one else gets. I stopped walking to look at him. He's like a brother. Kevin and Frankie too. Nick's like my twin, who's 2 years younger than I am. Joe, I've liked you for longer than you know. Really? I hate everything. I simply kissed his cheek and continued walking. What's this? Kevin asked as we finally made it to his car. We were still holding hands. So, Nick asked. Yep, Joe said. Finally, they all said in unison, alright. Joe and I looked at each other and laughed. Kevin started the engine. Nick rode shotgun. This is very detailed. And I sat between Demi and Joe. Joe had his arm around me and my head was resting on his shoulder. Hey guys, Nick said. What is it, Nikki? Whenever I call him like Nikki or Joey, it makes me want to vomit. I'm still hungry. Me. We all started laughing. Suddenly the laughter faded and we were no longer in Kevin's car on our way to find lunch. It was just me and Joe. Oh yeah, okay, so this is her dream. It's transferring into something else. No, I can't. I can't. Oh. So I'm just asking everyone, don't listen in on the next part. Thanks, great, cool. I suddenly don't want to continue. Oh, that scared me. Jesus, take the wheel. I can't read this out loud. It's not smut, but it's still really cringy to read out loud. I mean, all of it's really difficult to read out loud, but this is next level. Like reading a makeout scene out loud, out loud is always awkward, but when you wrote it at 18 years old, that's cool. Lit. Alright. It was so uncomfortable. Suddenly the laughter faded and we were no longer in Kevin's car on our way to find lunch. It was just me and Joe. He was pushing me back against the bed. Each kiss made me slip further and further away from my better judgment. All I know is that it was a bad idea to wear a skirt that day. What, Amber? Why? Why was it a bad idea? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is he doing? My God. Okay. He sat up briefly as he stripped off his shirt. I smiled, looking at his gorgeous toned upper body. I'm so anxious right now. He started kissing me again. I felt his tongue lightly dance across my lip. I knew what he wanted, but he wasn't going to win that easily. I turned my face away slightly. He kissed the side of my mouth and then trailed soft kisses down my neck. One of my hands was running up and down his back while the other was tangled in his hair. I flinched slightly. When his lips pressed lightly against my weak spot. Girl, what? I win. I'm sweating. Alright. Like, it's not even anything like particularly raunchy. It's just uncomfortable. I win. He whispered with a smile in his voice. He started applying pressure and I bit my lip in order to control myself. Suddenly Joe's hand was slipping under my cami. Yeah, back then I wore a lot of like camis and tank tops. That was so cute. What happened to me? His fingers grazed my skin and I bit my lip even harder. But even still, Jesus. First of all, I mean, to my credit, the fact that I wrote this and had not experienced anything close to it. I mean, I read a lot, so what am I doing? Where was I? Oh yeah, right, cool. But even still, a tiny moan escaped as his thumb rubbed the skin right beneath my brow. He looked at me triumphantly and moved his lips back to mine. What did he win? What was he trying to win? What? I thought he was trying to like Frenchie girl. What? I'm confused now. He looked at me triumphantly and moved his lips back to mine. Your phone is ringing. I said, wow, way to kill the mood, Amber. I know, just ignore it. You can't ignore it. What if it's important? He sighed and sat up. He kissed me once more before going to get his phone, which was of course across the room. I took that opportunity to get up and get some water. I needed to regain myself. Yes, you do. I was sitting in the chair by the table now. I saw Joe from the corner of my eye as he sat on the edge of the bed. Yeah, Kevin, he was saying. Yes, I know. I will. Look, can this wait? Boy, his plans. Nothing. Kevin probably asked, what are you doing? Okay, I will. Bye. He rolled his eyes. Jeez. My brothers have impeccable timing, he said, smiling at me. I couldn't help but smile back as I sipped my water. You're so far away, he complained. Sorry. I went over to him and he pulled me onto his lap. He rested his face on my shoulder. You want some, water? I don't know why that sentence was hard to say, but it was. I was staring at a reflection in the mirror. No thank you. His warm breath on my skin sent shivers down my spine. Why do you hate me? I thought. You know, I hate you too. Lord. Okay. This next chapter, I really don't even know what chapter we're on anymore. It's called I Can't Hide Forever. Assuming we're back to the present now. There was a pale light in my room now. I sat up slowly. Well, also, hold on. If that's like rated R, then I don't know what the fanfiction does they are. There was a pale light in my room now. I sat up slowly while trying to focus my puffy eyes and wiping away the remaining tears. There's no D in that word. I didn't feel like getting up, but my stomach said otherwise. It had been a week since I made myself a prisoner of my home. I hadn't seen or spoken to anyone but myself. I now hated the sight of my bathroom. I washed my face and moved to go downstairs. I didn't want to eat, but I guess I had to. I sat slowly eating a slice of dry toast. Ew, Amber, what? When I heard music playing faintly, I got up to find where it was coming from. I soon found myself reaching under the sofa. I pulled out my phone. I sighed at the number of missed calls and text messages I had. I wonder what my ringtone would have been. If anything, it's 2009 Amber. 2008 Amber. Yeah, it was 2009 because I was about to turn 19. it was probably Paramore. I had listened to various messages from everyone that I had been avoiding, but the last one was the one that upset me the most. Oh no. Hi Amber. Joe's voice was quiet and dejected. Nice use of big words, Amber. I mean, you had been to college at this point, so. It's me, again. Look, I'm not sure what I did, but whatever it is, I'm sorry. I just wish, please talk to me. Alright, bye. I love you. Wait. How dare you break his heart like that, Amber Dior. I hate you. I wiped the tear that was rolling down my face. I finally decided it was time to stop hiding. I dialed my phone and called my best friend, whom I had known since middle school, only to get her voicemail. Hey Linda. Hey Linda, if you're watching. Hey girl. It's Amber. Call me as soon as you get this. I have something important to tell you. Later, after I figured some things out, I made another call. She figured some things out? Oh snap. Hello? Demi? I had to call her first. I was hoping she could possibly help calm my nerves. I love Demi, okay? Be my friend, Demi. Oh my gosh, where? I love how everyone says gosh. I'm so cute. Oh my gosh, where have you been? Also, if this were really Demi, I'm pretty sure she would literally cuss me all the way out. Where have you been? We've all been worried sick, especially Joe. Wow, I bet he was happy to hear from you. Well, I haven't spoken to him yet. What? Why? Did you two have a fight or something? No? What's wrong? You sound like you want to cry. I couldn't answer. Here we go. Amber, what's wrong? Demi, I'm pregnant. Girl. My voice cracked. That was the first time I've been able to say those words out loud, and now I really want to cry again. I like that she called Demi first, honestly. Haha, very funny, she said. There was a long pause. Why aren't you laughing? That's something I'd say. Because I'm not joking. But how? Demetria. It literally said Demetria. I mean, I know how, but you can't be. You mean, wait, who's the father? What? Demi. Demi. I think, was this before they dated? This was before they dated. Oh my god. That's funny. That's really funny now. Anyway, Demi. So you mean that? Yeah. I could barely hear my own voice. Wow. Does Joe know? No. You have to tell him. You have to. I know. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. I lied. I couldn't tell her yet. She tried to change my mind. It was very late when I got off the phone with Demi. Talking to her did make me feel better, if only for a minute. I wanted to go to bed, but I had another phone call to make. Hello? His voice sounded as if he were asleep. Sorry to wake you. Amber? First of all, it's 2009. You had caller ID. You knew it was me when you answered the phone. Hi. Is everything alright? You don't sound like yourself. We need to talk. Well, I'm awake now. No, not now. I'll see you tomorrow. Then I got scared and hung up. Oh, God. So, confrontation is the next chapter. Joe's POV. We need to talk, which is what I'm saying to him. Well, I'm awake now. I said sitting up in my bed. No, not now. I'll see you tomorrow. When? I asked, but I only heard the click as she hung up the phone. Something was definitely wrong, but I couldn't figure out what. I was still pretty confused about the entire situation. What could we need to talk about? As far as I knew, we were in a great spot in our relationship. I thought about talking to Nick, but I didn't want to wake him, so I sunk back down in my bed and closed my eyes. That only worked for a few minutes before I was wide awake and knocking on Nick's bedroom door. Poor kid. Sorry, Nick. Nick. I whispered loud enough for him to hear. Nick. I heard him shift. Nicholas. I tried again. This time I heard him groan, which I took as a sign to come in. Sorry. What's wrong? He croaked. How do you know something's wrong? I watched my brother lazily sit up, his hair sort of flattened on one side. Because I know you're smart enough not to wake me up without a good explanation. Me. What's up? Oh, shut up, low battery. I'm not really sure. Amber called me. Really? Really? Good. Yeah, well, she seemed really weird. Weird? Different, scared, not herself. I don't know. Something's not right. What would she say? She said we needed to talk, then she hung up. I don't know what we need to talk about. Did I do anything wrong? What does she have to talk about? Joe, calm down, you're rambling, my brother said, yawning. Sorry, back to my POV. I couldn't sleep that night. The sun finally came up. I went downstairs to get food, but I couldn't make myself eat, so I poured myself a glass of orange juice. Orange juice is my life. That I only took 2 sips of. It's debatable. I contemplated just driving to his house right then, but I knew that I wasn't ready yet. I grabbed my phone and dialed. I like that I drive in these stories. Demi. I don't know why there's an exclamation point. I don't know why I'm yelling at her. Hey, did you go yet? No, I don't think I can. We talked about this. You and I both know that you have to tell him today. I know. I'm going to wait a little while though. Okay, call me when you get home. Okay. Why did I call her then? Okay, it's fine. I guess to remind, to be like, no dude, you have to go. I dropped my head onto the table. Ouch. I muttered. It suddenly became harder to breathe. The room seemed to be closing in and I felt like I was on fire. Oh look who's having a panic attack. Calm down, I repeated to myself. It's not that easy. I soon found myself concentrating only on my breathing. Oh look who had anxiety and didn't know it. Me. You can do this. I slowly made my way upstairs and into a cold shower. I brushed my teeth and pulled my hair back into a ponytail. By the time 2:30 rolled around, girl, you making this boy wait all day. I had convinced myself that I was ready. I was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. Serving looks. I drove the short distance to the Jonas house, but I couldn't get out of my car. Joe's POV. Joseph, sweetie. I had been laying across my bed when I heard my mother's voice. While I was laying there, I had been trying to rest, but my thoughts wouldn't let me. I made my way to the top of the stairs. Yes, Mom? Amber's outside. I suddenly felt very anxious. She looks very upset. Is everything alright? I stared blankly at my mother before running down the stairs and out the door. My POV. I had finally gotten out of the door and was preparing to walk to the... There's a lot of doors happening. I had finally gotten out of my car and was preparing to walk to the door when the door opened and Joe ran out, worry all over his face. He moved cautiously toward me. My chest suddenly felt like it was going to cave in and I started shaking. Hey, he said softly. I couldn't say anything. I just stared at his beautiful face. He met my eyes and my vision was suddenly blurred with tears that threatened to tell him the truth. Hey, what's wrong? I still couldn't answer, but I just shook my head. He stepped closer, which only caused me to start shaking uncontrollably as I broke down into sobs. All the time of prepping myself and repeating to myself that I was ready flew out the window. As soon as I was face to face with him, it all crumpled. What is it? He pulled me into his arms, but I could only shake my head in his shoulder, his strong, comforting shoulder. No, I finally said, more to myself than Joe. Huh? I took in a shaky breath. I can't do this anymore. We can't. What are you talking about? I pushed back from him. It was so easy to get lost in his arms. Joe, we can't be together anymore. I turned my face away as the color drained from his face. What? Why? I suddenly couldn't find the words or strength to go on. He moved toward me, but I jumped away from his grasp. The tears were streaming. Streaming even faster now. Talk to me. His voice was pleading. I can't be with you anymore. I tried to get in the car, but he closed the door as I tried to open it. He was soon right behind me, breathing on the back of my neck. Sir, personal space. Joe, please, tell me why. His voice sounded as if he were ready to cry, which broke my heart even more. Tell me. I felt like a volcano on the brink of eruption when it finally came out, the truth that I had been hiding from him for too long. Joe, I'm pregnant. I broke down into another sob. I watched his grip on my collar loosen as he stepped back from me. We are almost through this, folks. Confrontation part 2. That French coming out. I was still relatively good at French at this point. What? I'm so sorry. Joe stared at me for a long time. Well, sir, if you didn't use a condom, what do you expect? Joe stared at me for a long time, his face unreadable, which made me start to panic. He finally spoke. You weren't going to tell me. His voice was quiet, but I could hear the hurt and rage in it. I mean, just now. You were just going to break my heart and leave without giving me a reason. Oh, poor baby. Amber, you're awful. I opened my mouth to speak, to tell him that seeing him broke me inside. I stand alone until she's broke inside. And it was easier for me to run. All I ever do is run. But nothing came out except more tears from my eyes. His expression seemed to change into one contorted. College girl. In pain, he turned his face away. I'm sorry, he whispered. Are you sorry? I stared at him, astonished. Alright, Amber, with that vocabulary. But you're right, I choked out. He looked back at me darkly in the eyes. Not about what I said. Oh. My eyebrows furrowed before I realized. He was looking at my stomach, but he didn't seem to be focusing on what... focusing. He was thinking of something. His hands were suddenly on either of my sides. They felt like they were glued to my body as I ripped myself from his grasp. Joe, stop, I pleaded. He caught my hands in a steel grip. We can... Finish your sentence, Amber. We can fix this, I think I was trying to say. He said simply. I shook my head. There's no need for you to try to fix anything. This is my problem. Okay, if this is not Kiwi, I'm having your baby. It's none of your business. Psychic. It's my problem. I won't make your life anymore. Shush, he roared. First of all, my dude. It scared me, and I felt tears brimming my eyes, but I decided to turn into anger. No, Joe, this is my problem. I'm not going to ruin your life. I'll fix it. Marry me, he spit out. See, now you're not thinking straight. Yes, I am. I love you. Okay. I wanted to tell him that I loved him more than he could ever imagine, but that would not help me right now. You feel obligated to, and we're not ready, and just no. Alright. Hurt the boy even more, why don't you? I'll fix this my way. Oh, you're not talking about an abortion. No, of course not. No child should suffer for a stupid mistake. 2009, Amber, we should talk about your views about abortion. Just because you don't agree with it personally doesn't mean that everyone else shouldn't have that choice. That's your choice to make. Your choice to not agree with it. That's the whole point. That's a conversation for another day. Back to the story. But I have to go. Bye. He grabbed my wrist. Sir. But I yanked it away. I got in my car. Joe was still standing by my door. I wouldn't look at him, but I saw him pull off his purity ring. He was still wearing it. Here. Here. I'm not taking that. It belongs to you. Joe, I can't. At that moment, I looked up at the cord around his neck. No, oh, jeez. Knowing that hanging from it under his shirt was my ring. That's cute, I guess. At the time, I thought it was cute. Here, this is yours. Oh, this is another flashback. After the deed was done. Here, this is yours, I said, handing my ring to Joe. But we'll just say that it's at home. I mean, people know that I don't always wear it because it's too big, which is a fact. I have a ring guard on it. Flashback, and he's yelling at me again. Take it. I jerked back to reality as he roughly grabbed my wrist. You're gonna stop manhandling me. And squeezing so that my hand opened. He dropped the ring in the center of my palm and closed my fingers around it. I love you, he murmured before he walked away. I didn't look at him as I started the engine and drove away. My phone started ringing, in parentheses, dimmy again. I pushed the talk button, but I was crying too hard. I'm assuming that it's on speakerphone because that's dangerous. And you're pregnant, so like, girl. I pushed the talk button, but I was crying too hard to talk. She talked to me the entire time, and when I got home, she was waiting outside. Friendship goals. My little comment at the end is just, yep. So, I'm going to actually stop this here, and then we'll do a part 2 of this because this is a very long story. So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see me continue the series after I finish the story, move on from Mila to my story on Flickr, please give this a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed so you see when I put. Make sure you're subscribed so you see when I post the second half of this video. Also, if you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down here, so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back. Awaken me buds, and I'll see you soon.